Welcome to the SolarEdge Learning Lab. This video will guide you through the proper testing procedure of an unresponsive SolarEdge 3-phase inverter with Synergy technology. This video was recorded in a closed training environment. Refer to the manual and adhere to your company's safety practices while in the field. Before we begin, ensure the system is de-energized. Turn the inverter on-off P-switch to the off position. Allow the inverter to reach safe DC voltage, indicated by red LED light going away on the LED tube, or the voltage falling below 50 volts DC. Next, turn off the DC safety switch and remove the cover of the connection unit. With the connection unit cover removed, use a multimeter to test for AC voltage. Measure phase to phase, phase to neutral, and phase to ground. Ensure that all measurements are correct for your selected grid type. Finally, measure voltage neutral to ground. Your reading should be 0. If any voltage is found, be sure to inspect your AC installation. Next, remove the covers for both primary and secondary units, and repeat AC voltage tests on the AC connections located in the lower right-hand corner. Next, turn off AC power in order to test for fuse continuity. Using a multimeter, test for continuity on the fuses in the primary and secondary units. If no continuity is found, replace the fuse with a 750 milliamp 250 volt slow blow fuse and attempt to power up the system. If fuses are good, perform the next step in the video. After the fuse continuity has been tested, turn the AC power back on to test the VIN voltage on the communication board. The primary unit will have 2 pins at the top of the board next to the cellular connection marked positive and negative and labeled VIN. Place the red probe on the positive and the black probe on the negative and record DC voltage. Expected voltage is between 13 and 18 volts. On the secondary unit, locate the socket at the top of the communication board and insert your red or positive probe in the leftmost hole and your black or negative probe in the hole directly next to it and record your DC voltage. Expected voltage is between 13 and 18 volts. If no DC voltage is measured, turn off AC power and remove the connector at the top of the communication board in the primary unit. Then turn AC power back on and check inside the connector and record DC voltage. Next, turn off AC power and remove the communication board from the primary unit and the digital board from the secondary unit. Once the boards are removed, set them safely aside. Next, turn AC power back on. With the AC power and the communication and digital boards removed, locate the green power supply test point connector on the lower right-hand corner of the primary unit's power board. Place the positive probe of your multimeter on the 12-volt pin and the negative probe on the DG and D pin directly below it and record your DC voltage. We expect 12 volts DC. Repeat the test in the secondary units as well. Once the test is complete, turn AC power back off and reassemble the inverter. With the inverter reassembled, turn the AC power back on. If the inverter is still unresponsive, contact SolarEdge support to open up a case. Make sure that you mention the testing performed and the measurements taken for the fastest resolution to your issue. Thanks for joining us today. Please be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more helpful videos.